Welcome to Athletics Advisor Training at TMCC. I'm so excited that you have decided to seek this opportunity to work with another wonderful population of students and support them on their respective academic and personal journeys. Athletics began as a student-driven conversation with students wanting something more to create a sense of community on campus and in the greater Reno-Sparks area. Overwhelmingly, students voted to have soccer be the inaugural sport. The Student Government Association presented the idea to TMCC leadership, and it was initially turned down. But they persisted, having even proposed a student fee to help pay for athletics. A survey was sent out to all students in fall 2016, and based on those who responded, a fee of $3 per credit per term to be paid by all students was added to the proposal. Leadership agreed to look further into this possibility, and in spring 2017, the Nevada Board of Regents approved the motion. In early 2018, a major construction project began to create a soccer field on the campus's mountainous terrain. TMCC's first director of athletics was hired in 2018, and she worked diligently to help the college become an NJCAA member, joining the Region 18 Scenic West Conference. Shortly thereafter, the athletics compliance team was created, coaching staff was hired, and student-athlete recruitment began in order for TMCC to compete in our first intercollegiate athletics season in fall 2019. Our mission states that TMCC Athletics fosters a culture of excellence that provides opportunities for students to develop personal character and leadership skills. We build champions in the classroom, in competition, and in life while serving as an integral part of the community college experience. TMCC Athletics seeks to heighten the visibility of the college and the engagement of the community. In the 6 years since initial talks began, the TMCC Lizards have successfully competed in 3 years of competition, have graduated several student athletes, and have congratulated student athletes who have gone on to sign with NCAA Division I schools, receiving significant academic and athletic scholarships. While one may argue that athletics is about sports, I say college athletics is about access to education and expanding opportunities that may not otherwise be available to many students. One of our more recent NCAA D1 transfers was a young man who told me he just wanted to play soccer, believing himself to be incapable of academic excellence after a rocky high school experience, and stating that the idea of transferring to even a local university was out of the question as he and his family would never be able to afford it. That individual received regional and national recognition as both an athlete and a scholar. Not only has he transferred to an out-of-state university, he did so with academic and athletic scholarships that will cover tuition, fees, and cost of living. The opportunity for him, in his own words, to just play soccer at TMCC has changed his life forever. As you set out on this journey to begin working with student athletes, I encourage you to remember that intercollegiate athletics is not just about sports. It's about upholding TMCC's mission to help students create a future they will love with accessible, innovative educational opportunities. TMCC's athletics compliance team is composed of 6 faculty and staff across multiple disciplines. Currently, we are searching for a new athletics director and will have someone in that role by summer 2022. Andy Hughes is the college's registrar and director of admissions and records. Arkaitaldeco Otalora Munoz Gorin is our compliance officer who is responsible for submitting our eligibility certification packets for each team prior to the start of each season, processing and releasing students from LOIs, more on that later, verifying recruitment and transfer forms and processes, and more. He is the keeper of our official records and handles the plethora of paperwork needed to add a student to one of our teams. It's a huge responsibility. It's also important to note that only the athletics director and the compliance officer are allowed to communicate with the NJCAA National Office. So when you have questions, know the boundaries. Do not contact NJCAA directly, or they will contact the college's president to issue a warning. If that sounds extreme, it is. Tara Connolly is the Athletics Advising and Orientation Coordinator. She has been part of the athletics compliance team since its inception and has authored just about every TMCC athletics, policy, and procedure. She meets with student athletes on a daily basis, as you will upon successful completion of this training, to help them develop long-term educational plans to align with their academic goals but ensure that they will meet eligibility and NCAA transfer requirements. She monitors their progress with monthly progress reports to be completed by all instructors, meets with students who are on academic agreements or contracts, which will be covered in Module 3, and coordinates athletics orientation, which is very different from the college's standard new student orientation. Olga Messina is a disability resource specialist for the college and oversees Homeroom, an intentional weekly intervention resource for student athletes who are struggling academically. And finally, Jeff Hawkins is the head soccer coach for both our men's and women's soccer teams. Coach Hawkins joined us in 2020 and has several years of experience at multiple colleges as a head coach. He has a deep understanding of all NJCAA regulations. The athletics compliance team supports our students, the college, and you. Never hesitate to reach out. Just as we encourage students to ask lots of questions, we encourage you to do so as well. Again, I would like to welcome you to athletics advising training. Academic advising in general is all about taking intricate, complex information and simplifying it in order to support students holistically and help them navigate higher education and achieve their goals. Athletics advisors play an invaluable role in helping student athletes succeed both on and off the field. Admittedly, I've heard from many academic advisors in our office that athletics advising sounds complicated and a bit scary. While it is a bit more complex than our standard academic advising that we provide to most students, I promise you that the skills you have honed as an advisor at TMCC have adequately prepared you for this challenge. In many ways, you already deal with eligibility-like issues related to university transfer, graduation, special admissions programs, credit overload, academic probation, financial aid satisfactory academic progress or course applicability, scholarship requirements, and so much more on a daily basis. Athletics advising, while complex, is simply one more layer. Remember, you are never alone. Just as our student athletes rely on one another and their coach on the field, you have a team and access to resources to support you in your work. Upon successful completion of this training, you will have unlimited access to all the documents and resources provided throughout. As annual eligibility rules are updated by either NJCAA or the athletics compliance team, you will be notified of the changes and how they may affect our work with students. As we say on the field before each game, Vamos Verdes. Let's get started.